Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Intelligence Mod Pod. As always, I'm Bobby, and I'm here with Dane, and we are going to fill out what we left off on our Warlock video with all of the invocations from both 2014 and 2024. There's a whole lot of them. Dane, I'm not sure if you know, I think when I counted the 2014 or the 2024 alone, it was like 29 of them.
Yeah.
And 14 has way more.
Yeah.
So, we're probably going to try to boogie through these relatively quickly while still giving a pretty good example of what they are and how you use them. But let's not make this video longer than we have to. Let's just jump into it.
Sounds good to me.
So I started these off by separating. I'm going to tell you how I organized it. I separated the first ones between the pack boons, so blade, chain, tome, and talisman first, and I have them in order of level that you can acquire them for the prerequisite. After that, I moved on into all the general ones, and those are going to be in alphabetical order, so if you're following along in the book, you should be able to follow along pretty easily with us. So first off, we have Pack of the Blade. The first invocation that we can grab for Pack of the Blade, it does not require any specific level, so you can get this right off the bat, is Improved Pact Weapon. So with this, you can use any weapon you summon with your Pact of the Blade feature as a spellcasting focus for your Warlock spells. In addition, weapons gain a +1 to its attack and damage rolls unless it's a magical weapon that already has the bonus. Finally, the weapon you can conjure can be a short bow, longbow. Okay, so it can be ranged. So previously, I had said that I let my players use it anyway. I would still probably, even with this sitting there, let my players without improved pack weapons still use bows. Just being honest.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would just let it be whatever it needs to be. And then at 5th level, if you have the Pact of the Blade feature, so you do need to have this pact selected, and you have to be level 5 in order for you to even choose this, but it is Eldritch Smite, the Divine Smite's evil half-brother. So once per turn, when you hit an enemy with your packed weapon, you can expend a Warlock spell slot to deal an extra 1d8 force damage to the target, plus another 1d8 per level of the spell slot. And you knock the target prone if it is huge or smaller. So a very handy spell slot, a very handy ability for your up in front melee warlocks.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out that at 5th level, we are rocking 3rd level spell slots for those extra 1d8. So that's going to be an additional 3d8 on top of your 1d8 force damage.
Yeah, and you knock the enemy prone, and it does not appear to have any kind of saving throw attached to it as well. So, automatically giving you advantage on your attacks or any of your party members that are melee attacking this creature. So a nice ability, but I will say be a little bit cautious of being trigger happy with this one. Because you can burn through all of your spell slots literally in one round, potentially.
Yeah, I would like to point out, though, it also stipulates huge or smaller. I think that's amazing. That's bigger than large. That's going to be a lot of the monsters that you fight are going to be covered in this. So this is definitely when you hit that big bad, smack him on the ground so the rest of your group can circle him and beat him with pool sticks.
Yeah. I guess I do have to kind of walk back something I said because, well, this is 2014. So yeah, you could just blow all of your spell slots in one round. But 2024, I'm not sure if there's good. Well, we'll find out if there's going to be differences between the two. But you can only use one spell slot per round, basically. So you can't use both of them, even if you have the extra attack feature. You can't smite on both attacks.
Yeah, I think that was rules in 2014 as well. It's just not a rule anyone followed.
Well, yeah.
They made it a lot more clear. The initial ruling for spellcasting and casting multiple spells in one turn was a lot looser in 2014, and when 2024 came around, they were like, listen here.
No more Nova Paladin.
No more.
Burn all their spell slots in one attack.
After that, though, we do have Thirsting Blade. where you can attack with your weapon twice instead of just once. Now, this is another 5th level feature that you have to have Pack of the Blade for. But what this does is putting you on the same grounds as the rest of our martial fighters that are getting extra attack at 5th level. This is your way of getting it. It is going to cost you an invocation, but that is a very, very small price to pay for attacking twice in each turn.
Mm-hmm. And then the final Pact of the Blade prerequisite invocation here is Life Drinker. When you hit a creature with your packed weapon, the creature takes extra necrotic damage equal to your charisma modifier. So just some extra damage on top of whatever you're doing, which is great.
I will say though, I feel like that should not have been as high level as it was, because I feel like at level 12, an extra 10 damage a turn if you have max charisma, I just don't see it as that good.
Yeah, I mean, damage is damage at the end of the day, but I think you'll find there's other better invocations out there.
Mm-hmm. I wish with the name like Life Drinker, it would have like healed you or gave you temporary hit points equal to like half the charisma damage you do or something. I feel like that would have been excellent. I would have liked that, but it is what it is. After that, we come to our Pack of the Chain. So all of the next invocations are going to be ones that you have to have taken the Pack of the Chain to get. So the first one is Gift of the Ever-Living Ones. It does not have a form or prerequisite other than the Pack of the Chain, but whenever you regain hit points while your familiar is within 100 feet of you, treat any dice roll to determine the hit points that you regain as having rolled their max value for you. This is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I am a huge fan of this. It doesn't have any bad sides. I will say, though, as a backline, how often are you getting healed? You know, realistically, I will say, as amazing as it is, if you're like, I don't know, I can't even justify it. I can't justify being a frontliner with Pack of the Chain. But, I mean, I guess if you're doing a 2-level dip, and you're like a fighter or a barbarian, this is excellent.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I would really take it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this also applies to short rest hit dice, because you're regaining hit points, so you just get your maximum hit die dice with it. So if you are multi-classing, right, you get the hit die from that particular class. So if you get a fighter or, I don't know why, but barbarian or something like that, or paladin, you know, you get those D10 hit die, or D12 in a barbarian's case, and it's maxed out. So you automatically get the full healing from it.
Mm-hmm.
Very underrated, I think. I don't think a lot of people
think
that.
So.
But
I
definitely
don't.
a good one.
It is. After that, we get, in my opinion, the best of the Pack of the Chain features, which, again, you don't have to have anything level-wise except for having Pack of the Chain, which is Investment of the Chainmaster. Whenever you cast your Find Familiar, you infuse your Summon Familiar with measures of your Eldritch power. And they're going to get the following benefits. They get all of this. They gain a flight speed or a swim speed of your choice of 40 feet. As a bonus action, you can command the familiar to take the attack action. Love that. We love having, instead, because previously it was just you had to give up one of your own actions. Whereas now you can use a bonus action to give it to them. So it becomes a lot more viable to have them. The familiar's weapon attacks are considered magical for the purposes of overcoming immunities and resistances. We also love that because there's nothing worse than a weak familiar not being able to do any damage because of bludgeoning resistance. And the familiar, if the familiar forces a creature to make a saving throw, it uses your spell save DC instead of the creature's. So if you're using what would that be? The pseudo dragon, I believe, would be the one mostly using this.
Yeah, Imp
that's
has like
significantly
poison.
Stronger.
The Imp has poison and stuff.
Imp is easily the strongest of these. I just want to go on record saying.
I think the pseudo dragon has like a trip attack or something like that. I think.
It has a stinger. I know it has a stinger.
Yeah.
And also, whenever it takes damage, you can use your reaction to give it resistance to that damage.
Yeah.
Amazing, because these familiars, they drop like flies in 2014.
Yeah.
I feel like even the Imp, I think it's like 13 health, and it doesn't go up.
Yeah, especially as you level up, like, you're gonna basically be able to get maybe one possibly 2 attacks off with this thing as your bonus action if you're not using it for other reasons. Um, but yeah, like it's a nice little extra bonus damage. I think the big benefit of it is that its spell save DC becomes yours, because yours is probably going to be higher naturally than what the creature has. But like you said, they are little squishy familiars. They will get knocked around pretty quick.
Yes. Yeah, they are not the strongest. I will say if you're taking the imp, that's going to be your best bet because they can go invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, the main thing you're doing is that saving throw. And if it's not one that already has a flight speed, giving them a flight speed.
Mm-hmm. And then we have the voice of the Chainmaster. Once again, you only need the Pact of the Chain feature. There's no level requirement for this one. You can communicate telepathically with your familiar and perceive through your familiar's senses as long as you're on the same plane of existence. Additionally, while you're perceiving through your familiar's senses, you can also speak through your familiar in your own voice, even if your familiar is not normally able to speak. So handy, but I don't think it's really the best thing out there. Like it'll have its purposes here and there, but I don't think it's one that
So
I would
let me
take.
paint a picture for you because I have taken this. I
Okay.
have taken this. Let me paint a picture. So you're about to do an infiltration mission, yes?
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do, if you have this, odds are you have investment of the Chainmaster and voice. If you're going to take voice, you probably have investment because you are invested in, making this chain thing a gimmick. At this point, you take your imp. He turns invisible, right? He has a flight speed now. So he can fly into any of the enemy's layers, and he doesn't have to be within 100 feet of you anymore to see through his eyes. You
Okay.
can leave him anywhere and just periodically check in on what's happening. So this is, to me, this is kind of a scrying with extra steps.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty handy for sure. For sure. Like it has its uses, although might be more situational. Um, And one thing that I don't think we mentioned, but in terms of the invocations, when you level up as a warlock, you are able to replace a invocation that you have with a different one that you're eligible for. So
Mm-hmm.
in 2024, you got a lot more to play with compared to 2014 in terms of the number of invocations that you have access to. But that's how you can switch them if you wanted to try something else.
I don't know if there are more in 2014, 2024. I think 2014 has more.
Well, I meant like in
'Cause it's got all the
total.
Tashas and Xanath.
Yeah,
Oh,
in
oh,
total
I'm so
number.
sorry.
Total
Yes,
number.
in total I thought you meant like the choices of
Yeah.
invocation.
No, it's definitely less in 2024. It's just you have
Definitely less. Yeah, that's
more
why
to
I was
pick
like,
from.
what?
More choices, like maximum number of choices. That's the words there.
Yeah, we even put like make sure to talk about replacing on level up at the very beginning of this on my
Yeah.
little spreadsheet, and completely glossed over it because we got excited. Yeah. After that, we have the chains of Carcere. Carcere?
Or Siri,
I'm
I
gonna be
like it.
honest with you. I'm not a speaker of the Faerunian Common, so I don't really know some of these words. But you do have to be level 15 to know this word and have Pack the Chain. But with it, you can cast Hold Monster at will, targeting a Celestial Fiend or Elemental. Yeah, Celestial Fiend or Elemental without expending a spell slot, material component. You must finish the long rest before you can use this invocation on the same creature again. This is so strong. Hold Monster, so powerful, and having it at will. I mean, granted, you can only use it on one monster once per long rest, but sometimes Hold Monster really just one's all you really need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so wait a minute. Is any creature you can see? Okay. I was just wondering if it's more like because they mentioned that it's targeting a celestial fiend or elemental. So that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that it only affects those ones, right? Like it can affect any creature and these ones, or it has to be specifically these kind?
I think for this feature, it has to be Celestial Fiend or Elemental.
Okay. And I
Cold
mean,
Monster itself doesn't, but this feature does.
yeah. So at level 15, probably going to be running into a lot of fiend type creatures or elemental type creatures anyways, outside of just general, like, monster types, unless it's like a Tarrasque or something like that.
In which case you're screwed anyway. But
Yeah. And that's it for the Pact of the Chain features. Now we're going to the Pact of the Tome invocations. So this first one is a big one, and it is the Book of Ancient Secrets. And you require the Pact of the Tome feature for this. You can now inscribe magical rituals into your Book of Shadows. Choose 2 first-level spells that have the ritual tag from any class's spell list. And they do not need to be from the same list. You can choose from Cleric and you can choose from Wizard if you so choose. The spell appears in the book and does not count against the number of spells you know. With the Book of Shadows in hand, you can cast the chosen spells as rituals. You can't cast the spells except as rituals, unless you've learned them by some other means. You can also cast a Warlock spell as a ritual if it has the ritual tag to it. And this is the fun part of this, is that on your adventures, you can add other ritual spells to your Book of Shadows. When you find such a spell, you can add it to the book if the spell's level is equal to or less than half your Warlock level rounded up. And if you can spare the time to transcribe the spell, for each level of the spell, the transcription process takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold pieces for the rare inks that is needed for it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby, but I feel like a lot of ritual spells are mostly like level 1 and 2. You get a fair number of them. Like the classic ones you would use: detect magic, comprehend language, other stuff. Identify, right?
Yeah.
Alarm maybe, if you want that.
Your main ones are going to be up in the first couple levels for sure.
Yeah. So, granted that these spells are low level, you would probably, if your dungeon master is so kind to find yourself in a magical shop of some type, there might be some scrolls lying about for like the alarm spell or for detecting magic. And you can just take those, just write them in your little book, and then you have them as ritual spells for you to cast. So I really like this as, in this. It's just a cool, adds like extra flavor, kind of makes it you like have a little bit of like wizard to you, because wizards can do that as well.
Also, I think it's also kind of important to remind that back in 2014, not everyone was ritual casters, and for some reason, warlocks were not.
Yeah.
So this essentially turns you into a ritual caster. So now you can use those ritual spells as a ritual. And if you're not sure what that means, it just means that you take the time of the cast, add, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And you can do it without using a spell slot.
Yeah. And as we know, warlocks ain't got a lot of spell slots to work with. So having access to things like this is super, super beneficial.
After that, we come to probably the bane of most DM's existence. This single invocation spawn a cross-class monster that has been actually banned in most games, called the Coffee Lock. Now, how it works, it's called the Aspect of the Moon. All you have to have is the Pack of the Tome feature, no level requirement. And you no longer need to sleep, and can't be forced to sleep by any means. To gain the benefits of a long rest, you can spend all 8 hours doing light activities such as reading your Book of Shadows and keeping watch. How does this turn into an absolute, awful, terrible, worst thing in the game for DMs? Well, I'll tell you. During long rest, since you have 8 hours of doing nothing, essentially, taking a couple levels of sorcerer, you could create what people came to lovingly call it as the Coffee Lock. What this would do is you would take your sorcerer and use all of your meta magics to create spell slots. Is that what you did? Is that how it worked?
Yeah.
You would use your meta magics to create Warlock spell slots, and then you would use those Warlock spell slots to then create
Meta
Oh
magic.
no, that's not how you do it.
No, you
Yeah,
like
you would just take the Warlock spell slot, turn it into meta magic, and then turn that into
sorcerer
a
spells.
sorcerer spell slot. But it never specifies that you can only have a certain amount. So people would just spend all 8 hours creating like every hour getting 2 extra spell slots banked, and they would just keep them forever. So they would go into the field as a Warlock sorcerer with like 37 spell slots at level like 5.
Yeah. Not intended.
Terrifying. It's banned in most places, but the coffee lock is terrifying.
Yeah,
Have you ever experienced a coffee lock?
I have not actually, and I'm thankful that I never have, and hopefully never will. The next invocation is Far Scribe. This is has the prerequisite of being 5th level, and also it's 5th level Warlock. I'll also mention because so it's not just a generic 5th level; it's 5th level in the Warlock class, and you need the Pact of the Tome feature. So a new page appears in your Book of Shadows. With your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on that page, which can contain a number of names equal to your proficiency bonus, which at this point, you're level 5, it's going to be 3 if you're 1 to 5. And you can cast the Sending spell, targeted a creature whose name is on the page without using a spell slot or without using material components. To do so, you must write the message on the page. Target hears the message in their mind, and if the target replies, their message appears on the page rather than in your mind. The writing disappears after 1 minute, and as an action, you can magically erase a name on the page by touching it. So, super, super handy, once again, especially if you have a small party, right? If you only have like a party of 4, then you got all of your people's name on the list. They all spread out every which way, and you can communicate. You're like the network, basically. You're the home base and sending out messages to everyone. They're replying to you, you're sending it back, and there's no spell slot usage, so you can just infinitely do this.
Yeah. After that, we have at 9th level Warlock, you can grab Gift of the Protectors. A new page appears in your Book of Shadows, and with the permission of a creature, you can use its action to write their name on the page, which contains a number equal to your proficiency bonus. So this is going to be very similar to your Far Scribe. But with this one, if a creature whose name is on the page is reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, the creature magically drops to 1 hit point instead. Once this magic is triggered, it cannot work on that. No trigger or no creature can benefit from it. So if one person uses this, it ruins it for everyone.
Yeah.
So don't be that guy. But if you are that guy, this gives your warlocks a great way to keep people alive.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be that guy that uses it. But as an action, you can still magically erase someone's name by touching it if they are using it far more than everyone else in the group.
I was gonna say that's basically like a death ward, right?
Yeah.
Like a free one that can just be on everybody when you're going into the fight, and then the first one that goes down gets the benefit of that death ward for free, and then no one else can benefit from it. So it's still really great. Like, geez, that's like right up your support alley right there.
I love this page. This is my favorite page of it. What can I say? After that, though, we get into the Talisman, which, if you're in 2024, you're probably wondering, what is that? Well, that's because it didn't make it because it wasn't very good. But if you like a really gimmicky system like I do, I actually find it endearing. I think it's really cute. I love it. So the first thing we're going to get is Rebuke of the Talisman. So again, this is a necklace that you have been given by your patron. You can give it to anyone in the group or keep it on yourself. When the wearer of your talisman is hit by an attack you can see within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal psychic damage to the attacker equal to proficiency bonus and push it 10 feet away from its wearer. This, honestly, I think alone makes the talisman somewhat worth it. It's not wasted. Is it as good as the others? No. But does it still make up for it? Absolutely. Because this isn't like a lot of the other Pact Boon invocations where they only work a certain amount of time. This is every single time.
Yeah.
So if you've got that one tank that is guarding the funneled hallway, and they're getting hit a lot, guess what? It's popping damage off every single time they get hit and pushing them away.
Yeah. So it would
No saving throw.
combo really well with like a polearm master type. Remember that with forced movement, you do not get opportunity attacks against that creature. But with the polearm master, if they come within your range, you can make an attack against them. Right? So very, very, very nice ability there. And the next evocation is, I keep saying evocation, it's invocation. Keep messing up with the wizard.
It evokes us.
So the next invocation is protection of the talisman. This is a 7th level warlock prerequisite with the Pact of the Talisman feature, of course. When the wearer of your talisman fails a saving throw, they can add a d4 to the roll, potentially turning the save into a success. This benefit can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and all expended uses are restored when you finish a long rest. So a nice kind of reactionary d4 roll to help if for that one person, right?
Yeah. I wish a lot of these talisman ones, I think this would have been like a very heavily picked, like actually used kind of subclass, I guess you could call it, of a warlock if these were refreshed on a short rest instead of a long rest.
Yeah, I think
Because I mean a d4 isn't that bad. That's resistance.
Yeah, I feel like it should have been a d6 maybe at a 7th level.
Ooh.
Right? Like then it kind of pays off a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's still a d4 to potentially save your bacon, which is nice.
Yeah, I still like it. I'm still a fan of it. I don't know. I like it. I like the talisman, even though everyone else hates it.
You're allowed to. It's okay.
After that, we get at level 12, we can get Bond of the Talisman. While someone else, you can use your action to teleport to an unoccupied space closest to them, provided the two of you are on the same plane of existence. The wearer of your talisman can do the same thing using their action to teleport. The teleportation can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and all expended uses are restored on the end of a long rest. I eat this up. And the reason I eat this up is because this right here is a mini version of what makes the Peace Cleric so overpowered. Imagine, if you will, you're playing a tank, right? You're up in the fray, and somehow someone sneaks past you and is attacking your Warlock. Let's just teleport back there. Let's get back there and start kicking the shit out of these people hurting my backline.
Yeah.
Immediate. Love, love, love this. And I mean, if you put this on a rogue, if they're teleporting to a spot directly next to you, they're getting sneak attack because they are right next to you and the enemy.
However, the only kind of drawback to that is that it does take the action to use this. So you can teleport away, but you do not have an action to take kind of like immediate action. Unless you're like a fighter who gets action surge, then something like that would be beneficial. But, you know, for example of like a rogue as an example, they can, you know, teleport back close to you and then bonus action go hide somewhere to get sneak attack the next round or something like that. So still a really great, you know, get out kind of situation, or bring the frontliners to you. But yeah, it's just the fact it takes an action, which is still, you know what?
Yeah.
If it's going to get you out of that sticky situation, better than dying. So we take that. A lot of tables use the bonus action, drink a potion kind of rule. So chug that potion while you got a breather.
Also, I would like to point out that it does not have a distance. This is anywhere on the same plane as you. And that right there, I think, is so good. I really eat this up. I feel like this could be used in really cheesy game-breaking ways. You know, like if you're trying to get to the top of like a tower or something, and you put your necklace on like a familiar or something, take it up there and teleport up there, and then just keep bringing your necklace down to slowly teleporting everyone else back up into the tower.
Well, damn. Look at that. That's crazy.
Who needs to climb? Who needs to climb when we have necklaces of teleportation?
Yeah, really. Oh my god. So yeah, those are all of the invocations for the 2014 pack specific features. So now we're going to kind of get into more of the general invocations that are available to us, and there's a lot of them. And this
So
is
many.
where the customizability of your warlock comes into play. You know, in the warlock video, we talked about how you can really flavor your warlock to be whatever it is you want. And it's these invocations that help you achieve that. So we're gonna just kind of list off a couple. Well, we're gonna list off all of them, but I'm gonna list off a couple right now. So the first one, and probably one of, if not the most chosen invocation for majority of warlocks, is Agonizing Blast. And Agonizing Blast, it does have a prerequisite of needing the warlock, staple Eldritch Blast cantrip. So when you cast Eldritch Blast, you add your Charisma modifier to the damage it deals on a hit. Now, for a
Mm.
lot of cantrips, you do not add any kind of additional damage to it outside of what the damage dice is. Certain subclasses, I think Wizard has one or something like that where you can add
Mhm.
extra damage. But this is something you get kind of right out the gate. It basically makes you in line with a person that's using, like, I think a heavy crossbow is a D10 or something like that. Um, but
Mhm.
also with 120 range immediately. So you're in the back line, you are making solid attacks. And also, the warlock's kind of, it's rather unique, especially with Eldritch Blast, in the fact that as you level up, kind of in line with, I would say, like kind of with like fighters and like kind of traditional extra attacks and things like that. At level 5, you get 2 beams with this thing. So you make 2 separate spell attack rolls with this. At level, I think it's like 11 or something like that, you get a third. So you kind of are like progressing with attack rolls the same way that a oh, that zoomed in on me real close there. I don't know why. Um, we're gonna figure that out.
At this point, we're gonna gaze longingly into Dane's eyes as he explains to us the effects
Eldritch
of
Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Dun dun dun. This is like the good thing about having. There it is. See, I gotta make the loser sign, and then it'll go away. Um,
That's crazy.
um. So yeah, where was I? Eldritch Blast. It's really great. It's like your way of keeping up with martial attacks, like the number of attacks that they get. So very, very beneficial for that.
hmm And I mean, if you are going agonizing, if you're doing like an agonizing blast warlock build, odds are you're going for like a blaster kind of thing. So you're probably adding a lot of ASIs for the extra charisma. So at once you get to having level 5, you're hitting +5 extra damage just from your charisma alone, plus the 2 D10s.
Mhm.
So I mean, agonizing blast, it comes to play and it comes to win.
Yeah. Well, that's like, so keep in mind, like the 2 beams, right? So 1d10 plus 5 if you hit. And then if you hit on the second one, it's a d10 plus a 5 to hit. So kind of just like how the
Mhm.
marshals apply their melee attacks, adding their dexterity or their strength modifier to it. That's what basically you get through your charisma with this cantrip. So, there's a reason why warlocks will more or less always take this,
Mhm.
especially in 2014. But when we get to 2024, we'll see kind of how it changes a little bit for the better, I'll say.
Mhm. After that, we have Armor of Shadows. With this, you can cast Mage Armor on yourself at will without expending a spell slot or material components. I adore this. I think this is really good. Is it as like obviously useful as Agonizing Blast? No, but do I think it's easily in the top like 3? I think so personally. I think anytime a squishy character can get their AC up, it's great, especially if you don't have to use spell components for or spell slots for it.
Yeah. Um, and then the next we have Ascendant Step. And keep in mind, we're doing this all alphabetical. So Ascendant Step has the prerequisite of you being 9th level. And you can cast Levitate on yourself at will without expending a spell slot or material component. So just float on up, very gingerly floating.
I'm gonna be honest. I think this is a trap. I think it looks really cool, but levitate itself is not flight.
Yeah, levitate is not
It's
fly. It is slowly
you are
rising
floating
in.
up in the air, and you can use an action to kind of brush it sideways a little bit. This is not flying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I would ever take this. I think it could be useful if you're in a situation where you're having to lift like something really heavy.
But that's just on yourself too. Like it's not against
Oh
an
shit. It
object.
does, yeah, it is just on your, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not taking this.
So if this
Ever.
was levitate against like creature or an object,
Yeah.
more use out of it. I know like one of my characters has levitate and it has screwed me more times than I would like to admit. But if this is just on yourself, it is just a watered down you're basically on an elevator. You're just going up and you're coming back down, and that's it.
Yeah, and you can't really move. You have to be pushed unless you use an action to move. It's not good. I don't like this at all.
Mhm.
I won't ever take it.
Yeah.
However, beast speech, which is next, you can cast speak with animals at will without expending a spell slot. I do like this one. Speak with animals is one of those spells that I feel like it will never be the game breaking spell, but it will always be the spell that breaks the game. Like it's not going to destroy the game, but it definitely breaks the seriousness. You're always going to have fun interacting with animals in D&D. And this is just going to really let you be silly and talk to all the animals.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a good spell to pick up. Once again, this is kind of where like the warlocks can just be very versatile, fill a particular role in the group if needed, or just flesh out your character. Maybe your celestial is like a nature deity or something like that. Speak with animals is a perfect
Love
one to
that.
pick up. Um, the next one is Beguiling Influence. You gain proficiency in Deception and Persuasion. Once again, Deception is one of those core skills that you can pick up when you first create your character. But if you want to pick something else, and you do want to pick up these two, it's possible to pick them up. I do kind of feel like picking up skill proficiencies might not be the best use of an invocation because you get spell casting and stuff like that. But once again, depending on the type of campaign that you're in, depending on the character you want to build, this is really the only way to get persuasion as a skill.
Other
Anyway,
than backgrounds.
yeah, other than backgrounds, yeah. So that's kind of it's decent if it's something that you need, but I think there's just a lot better options for you in terms of like spells and stuff like that.
I agree. I think it's fine. It's not good, it's not bad, but I think it's just fine. If you didn't take deception or persuasion and you want them, why not? I mean, sure. I guess at early levels is where I see this being useful before like while all the really good ones have the level prerequisites.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be honest, in that same vein, I feel like I would rather take speak with animal. Like it's not even that useful, but I would still. After that, we have Bewitching Whispers, which you're getting at level 7. You can cast Compulsion once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest. So what the Compulsion, it really is just a really upgraded like charm effect. And whoever you charm has to use your bonus action to like have them go in a certain direction. I will say that because it is their movement that is being used, it will proc attack of opportunity. So if you've got like a line of friends lined up, you can just have them walk right down the line.
It's the masochist line. Let's go right down it.
Yeah, it will not go into like obvious danger such as like a burning pit or jump off a cliff. But I mean, you can have him walk the line of executioners.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably the main use for this, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. But once again, it does use one of your packed spell slots. Keep that in mind.
Yes, it does.
And you'll notice there are some of these invocations that say are at will, which do not require any kind of spell slot, and some of them do require a spell slot usage.
Mm-hmm.
So the next invocation that we have, Cloak of Flies. Doesn't that sound great? Prerequisite. Fifth level, you gotta be fifth level to get this. As a bonus action, you can surround yourself with a magical aura that looks like buzzing flies. The aura extends 5 feet from you in every direction, but not through total cover. It lasts until you're incapacitated or dismiss it as a bonus action. The aura grants you advantage on charisma intimidation checks, but disadvantage on all other charisma checks because people just think you are a stinky fly man and don't want to be around you. Any other creature that starts its turn in this aura takes poison damage equal to your charisma modifier. And once you use this invocation, it can't be used again until you finish a long or short rest. So it's something that is active as long as you have it active for. And it just makes you look like you stink and you have flies all around you. So people are intimidated by you because they don't want to be around you, but they will not be impressed by your performances or your lies or your persuasive skills because you are a stinky fly man and you have flies all around you.
I feel like this is only super useful if you're going the Hexblade, melee route. Because the only real benefit honestly, that I think would be worth having disadvantage on all the other things is the damage equal to
Yeah.
your charisma modifier.
And the nice thing, it's not concentration or anything like that. So it's basically, a free 4-ish damage, 3, 4, 5 points of damage for free. It is poison damage though. So poison is usually resisted by quite a lot or even straight out immune to a lot of monsters, creatures, things like that. So, like I said, campaign dependent, I'd say, if you want to be stinky fly man.
Yeah. After that, we have Devil's Sight. You can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical, to a distance of 120 feet. If you are a human and you are tired of those damn drow making fun of you because you can't see in the dark and they can see 120 feet, take this, because guess what? Now you can see in magical darkness and they can't.
Yeah. Now
Make fun of them.
And this, once, we talked about the coffee lock, and this also is, I would say, the bane of your group's party cohesion, as a lot of people will take the darkness spell, just cast it over top of themselves, and then run in there because they don't have any kind of disadvantage. Everything that's within this sphere of darkness is basically at disadvantage when they try to attack you or they try to attack something else, but you're in there just smacking them around with advantage because they can't do anything. But the rest of your team can't do anything either because they can't see through it. So it's literally just you going into like a dark corridor, blacking out everything, doing damage, and then your team just like, how do we help you? I can't see you. I can't target you for heals. I can't do anything. You're just sitting there in the dark.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're gonna take this, be careful with your darkness, because just because you can see in magical darkness doesn't mean everyone else can. But still make fun of them about it.
Yeah.
100%. Because if you are a human or another race that does not get dark vision, you've been made fun of at least once, even if your party has never even gone into darkness.
Yeah.
They have still brought it up.
That's Killian in our campaign.
That's Morrowind. Morrowind doesn't have dark vision either. I almost took Devil's Sight, but I didn't.
It's so niche. Like, I feel like if you have a light source, who cares? Dreadful Word. So the prerequisite is being 7th level. You can cast Confusion once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long or short rest. Or sorry, just a long rest. Can't finish. You need to have a long rest to get the ability to use this again. Confusion, kind of like Compulsion, affects one target. You make it does something random, basically.
I don't like the ones where it's like it uses a Warlock spell slot.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So
I like free stuff.
Automatically, I'm not really into it.
Yeah.
After that, though, we get to Eldritch Mind. You have it. This doesn't have prerequisites. You can take this at level 2 when you get your invocations. You have advantage on Constitution saving throws that make you maintain your concentration on a spell. I have this. I like this. I think this is really good if you don't have, the feat allocation to take Warcaster.
Yeah.
I think I'll be swapping it out with something else because eventually I think I am going to take. But
Yeah, I would say there's
yeah,
probably
I like it.
there's probably a few spells, right, that maintain concentration that you'll want to have up for a very long period of time.
Mhm.
Things come to mind like for Marway because you have access to like the druid spells. So maybe something like bless potentially, but maybe more so like if you're the warlock yourself and you're casting one of these spells, your precious spell slots that you only have two of. Hypnotic Pattern comes to mind as a concentration spell. If you get like a fair number of people in this hypnotic pattern effect, but that one person is surviving and they're attacking you, you want to be able to maintain that because that takes out so many people in the fight. Having Eldritch Mind is super beneficial for getting that. Like you said, if you can't get Warcaster, this is your next best option.
Mhm. I 100% agree. I love it. And I love it equally as much as Eldritch Sight, which is next, where you can cast Detect Magic at will. This is spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
If I wish Morrowind just had 100 invocations, because I want so many of them all the time. I love Eldritch Sight.
Yeah. Another, once again, without expending a spell slot. Next
Mhm.
we have Eldritch Spear. And this one, I think, like, it's cool, but I don't think you need it because
Yes,
uh,
you do.
Eldritch Spear is you need the Eldritch Blast cantrip. And when you cast Eldritch Blast, its range is now 300 feet. Its original is 120 feet. So you got to have a pretty big battle map to need to make use of this 300 feet. Now, that's not to say it can't have its places. As an example, on a warlock that I never got to play, we're going to do a campaign that was like nautical based. So, ships, open seas, stuff like that. Being able to fire off an Eldritch Blast at an enemy ship from 300 yards away would be fantastic. But I would say in most situations, in most campaigns, a lot of the time, 120 feet covers a lot. Covers a lot of ground to hit from.
Mhm.
Very rarely will you be fighting people that are 120 feet or more away from you. Not to say it doesn't happen. Not to say it doesn't happen. But there's, like I said, there's
Listen,
a time and place for it.
listen. Take this. And you do not also take the 2014 spell Sniper to make it a 600-foot Eldritch Blast. What are you doing? We've all been in that situation where we're leaving the kingdom and the king was just an utter asshole and you just something up now that you're a safe distance. Now you can. Just as y'all are like super far away, just pew and then just keep running.
Yeah.
Listen, Spell Sniper Eldritch Spear is never going to be something that you do because you have to. You do it because you want to. Because you just want to have a 600-foot
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to do like I don't think you can actually even see that far, but your beam's going that far.
No, it sure is. Love it. I think it's great.
Oh gosh.
After that, we have Eyes of the Runekeeper. You can read all writing. This is another one I love. See, as a player, I know it might seem like I'm very combat focused, right? Because of the way I built Morrowind, very like I'm not in combat, but it's like a lot of my gig is for combat. But I am a utility out of combat kind of player, and things like Eyes of the Runekeeper are my shtick. I eat it up. I love it. I eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love Eyes of the Runekeeper.
Yeah. Basically
Personally.
like a free, always active comprehend language, basically.
Yeah.
Um Next one, Fiendish Vigor. You can cast False Life on yourself as a first level spell slot. So they make this distinction without expending a spell slot or material components. Now I think False Life, you'll get like a decent amount of free temporary hit points, right? Like I think it's probably like
It's 1d4 plus 4, so for that you'd get 8.
Yeah, but I think you still have to roll,
Early
right?
level, this is good, but do
Yeah,
what?
it's you have to roll the d4 though, right? So it could be like 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, but still great
but
early
on
game.
this, oh shit! I just realized that it is you have to roll it. I don't
Yeah,
know why I thought it was
just
max. I think because
max.
I've been playing too much Baldur's Gate,
Yep,
where
yep,
where
yep.
that's what it does.
But
Yeah, so you have anywhere between 5 and 8
yeah, not a bad
temporary hit
one.
points.
It's just there's so many other options like at the beginning, like when you have such a limited number, like do you take this and agonizing blast or something like that, like, or mage armor? Would you rather take mage armor and have the more health or more AC or temporary hit points, right?
I want
Like
both.
there's, yeah, so there's so much to juggle and decide between.
I think this is only really great if you're using the Hexblade, Pack of the Blade, and you're going to be melee.
Yeah,
And it's only really good for the first couple levels until some of the more powerful ones come
yeah.
online for you.
Yeah, because like Hexblade would not really benefit from mage armor because you can get medium armor, so you can already have kind of comparable AC to a mage armor. So yeah, false life would be a nice little extra bit of temporary hit points.
After that, we've got Gaze of Two Minds. You can use your action to touch a willing humanoid and perceive through its senses until the end of your turn. As long as the creature is on the same plane of existence as you, you can use your action to maintain this connection. Essentially, I don't like this. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't really think it's that great. I mean, is it cool to be able to look through as he's infiltrating and y'all are waiting for the signal? Yes, I think it has a niche
Yeah,
utility, but
like I could
I don't think
see,
this is worth an invocation.
yeah, because it also has to be willing, right? So you have to have like a willing participant in this. So like the only like ways I could
If you could
see,
do it to unwilling, it would be really cool.
yeah, like I could see this being beneficial for like there's a lot of setup needed to really have this pay off. Like you said, it would probably mainly deal with like infiltration type things, where your buddy gets captured and you can see which cell he's in, or you like charm the person or use compulsion or something like that, have them head into the keep or the castle, and you can see everything that they're seeing. So situational, but you have a familiar for that probably. Just send them
Yeah.
in. um
Or, if we're doing the whole rogue situation, turn your familiar into like a cockroach, put it on his shoulder, and you're good to go.
yeah,
You get
literally.
the same benefits.
Yeah. The next invocation, Ghostly Gaze. So prerequisite is level 7. As an action, you gain the ability to see through solid objects to a range of 30 feet. Within that range, you have dark vision if you don't already have it. This special sight lasts for 1 minute or until your concentration ends, as if you're concentrating on a spell. During that time, you perceive objects as ghostly, transparent images. Once you use this invocation, you can't use it again until you finish a long or short rest. See through walls is kind of like the
Nah.
benefit of this. You
Yeah.
get dark vision to see through these walls within 30 feet. I mean, I
Eh,
think like
uh, it's
not
niche.
very niche. A level 7, like I don't think it's worth it at all. At all.
A lot of these invocations, I feel like if you could change invocations on a long rest, they would be really cool. Like this is something I could see like, oh, we're about to go like break into a bank. Let's switch to Ghostly Gaze so I can see through the walls and find all the security.
Yeah.
Excellent. But how often are you really going to be using this? Because I feel like with a warlock, because you're so limited on spell slots, your invocations need to be picking up the slack. And if they're just sitting there waiting for the right moments, they're not doing enough.
Yeah. Um
After that, we have Gift of the. This requires you to be level 5, and you can breathe underwater, and you gain a swim speed equal to your walking speed. You can also cast water breathing once without expending a spell slot. You regain the ability to do so after a long rest. I think situationally this is excellent.
yeah. Like I said, with the nautical campaign I would have did, like I probably would have picked this one up. So if I fall overboard, I'm okay. I can, you know. And is water
Oh yeah, if
breathing?
you
I was gonna say with water breathing, so you can target up to 10 people with water breathing.
Hmm.
Pretty great, honestly.
So you and your whole crew can go finding the treasure buried in the sand under the water,
Yeah.
you know, and spend quite a while there. So if you're doing a water theme, this is great. I
Hmm.
really like this.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing water, probably not.
Yeah. So our next one, once again, Grasp of Hadar. So this is another kind of accent onto the Eldritch Blast cantrip. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with your Eldritch Blast, you can move that creature in a straight line 10 feet closer to you. So this one pulls them in a little bit closer. Um, Depending on your build type, I suppose, this could have benefit.
Hmm.
Very much, you can use this as an example. It's a good like setup move. So your ranger or druid spike growth right in front of them, you hit them, yank them right into it. Beautiful. Wall of fire, pull them right into it. Beautiful. So it definitely has its places. Once again, you are as a if you're playing your warlock as a blaster type, you are like 120 feet away. You just yoink them a little bit, and they still can't really reach
Or
you.
600.
Yeah, or you're 600, you got spell sniper and all that. You just yoink them 10 feet closer, and typically, unless they're using an action to dash, they're still not going to be within range of you. So ideally,
Hmm.
this is a great one to combo with your other players with. So I do feel like if you're going to take something like this, Grasp of Hadar, and we'll get into one repelling blast, which pushes them 10 feet. You want to kind of discuss it with your party beforehand to really maximize the use of it. Because on its own, it's not really doing too much. Um, you know, just as an example.
I want to come back to this one after the next one because I wanna paint a picture with both of them. Yes.
Yeah.
So after that, we have Lance of Lethargy. Once on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with your Eldritch Blast, you can reduce that creature's movement speed by 10 feet until the end of your next turn. So essentially, keeping them where you put them. The reason I wanted to put these together is what I really enjoy about Grasp of Hadar with Lance of Lethargy is this is your ability to get your frontline fighter closer to those backline archers. When they are pelting y'all and they just keep running, grab them, pull them, and slow them. And now the rest of your team can just dogpile them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And as you can see, like with 2014, they really emphasized Eldritch Blast for the Warlock. Like making it so any other selection of cantrip, like damaging cantrips, was basically useless.
Hmm.
And they do change that in 2024, which we'll get into. But as you can see, like Grasp of Hadar, Agonizing Blast, Lance of Lethargy, we're going to be reading Repelling Blast in the future. All of those just strictly impact Eldritch Blast only in
Hmm.
2014. Um, but the next one we have Maddening Hex. So this is a prerequisite. You need to have 5th level, and you need to have the Hex spell, which I feel like a lot of classes will take, or a Warlock feature that curses. So this could also be the Hexblade curse as well. So as a bonus action, you cause a psychic disturbance around the target cursed by your hex or by a warlock feature of yours, such as the Hexblade's curse or sign of ill omen. When you do so, you deal psychic damage to the cursed target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it. The psychic damage equals your charisma modifier. To use this invocation, you must see the cursed target and it must be within 30 feet of you. So just an extra little way to add a bit of damage when you are attacking this creature. And did it say when it was only once per turn? When you do so, you do psychic damage. Blah, blah, blah. I guess you can do it more than once if you have the extra attack with Hex on it. I think.
Yeah, and I want to point out that Hex, if the creature dies, you can move that
Mm-hmm.
to another. You have an hour, so I think this is great because Hex doesn't have a spell save. You just put it on,
Yeah.
so immediately you slap that on there with a bonus action. and then you just start going to town with your Eldritch Blast or whatever your preferred damaging spell is.
Yeah, and it does, once again, Hex is a concentration spell. I don't think the Hexblade's curse is. I'll have to double check that, but
Yeah, we'll have to look at that when we get into subclasses for sure.
yeah.
After that, though, we get into more my territory of deception and trickery, not necessarily combat, with Mask of Many Faces. With this, you can cast Disguise Self at will without expending a spell slot. So essentially, this is going to make it to where all of your clothing, your skin, everything about you looks different to other people. But if they touch, they will know it's an illusion because they go right through it. This I think is great. I love this, especially when you look later. If you get to 15th level, you kind of get like an upgraded version of this. So if you've been using this all the way through, once you hit 15, you can trade it out for Master of Myriad Forms. With this, you can cast Alter Self without expending a spell slot. So essentially, it's going to be very similar. It doesn't change your clothes or equipment, but it does physically change your appearance and everything. So if they touch, it is, if I am elf and I make myself look orc, they touch, it is orc. So I think these two are really good. If you're wanting to play a deceptive character, if you want to play a character that's really trying to be sneaky and stealth around, but also in plain sight while doing it, these are both excellent, excellent choices for you.
The next one we have is the Minions of Chaos. And this is a prerequisite. You need to be 9th level for this. And you can cast Conjure Elementals once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest. So a Conjure Elemental, I have to check and see, is that one concentration? It is. So it is a concentration spell. So keep that in mind if you are using it. And once again, it is using up one of your precious spell slots.
So precious. After that, we get to Mirror the Mind. Requires you to be level 5, and you can cast Slow once using your Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest. I really hate these using Warlock spell slot invocations, but 2014 really just didn't like the Warlock, so here we are. This is all right. I don't think this is necessarily the best. I don't think I would ever take this.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
not to cast like a spell like that, I suppose. Like, what is Slow second level? It's a 3rd level spell.
Third level. It's 3rd level, and it hits quite a few people. It's like a 40-foot cube.
Yeah,
but
I would take Hypnotic Pattern over this guy, to be honest.
I would just use my spell slot. If they're in a 40-foot area, I would just take half of them out with a fireball.
Yeah, that, or like I said, Hypnotic Pattern. You can capture a whole bunch of people, and then you just get advantage on them. Now listen, I've been burned by the slow spell many a time as a DM. Especially if it's just like a single target boss, like having them like not be able to cast things immediately and stuff like that is a pain in the butt. But you are a warlock, you hopefully a lot of other classes can pick up slow. So, maybe someone else will grab it, like a bard can take it or something like that. So yeah. I think, like you said, there's better uses for your limited spell slots than that. And the next one, Misty Visions. So you cast Silent Image at will without expending a spell slot or material component. So great diversionary tactic to use if you're sneaking around somewhere. Lots of cool things you can do with Silent Image, and it's at will. So cool usage, I'll say.
Absolutely. After that, we come to one. So this requires level 5, and when you are in an area of dim light or darkness, you can use an action to become invisible until you move or take an action or a reaction. So essentially, this is like standing in place and not being able to be seen. You are Drax from the Guardians, where you just move so incredibly, you stand so still that no one can see you. But it's okay.
Yeah, like other classes like Gloomstalker Ranger have this at, 3rd level, I think, or something like that. Like if they just stand still, this happens to them. The next one, Otherworldly Leap. Now, this has a prerequisite of 9th level. I feel like this should have been like 3rd level or something, because you can cast jump on yourself at will without expending a spell slot. I can jump 30 feet now when I could probably already fly at this level. I don't
Right,
think...
just levitate yourself and have someone push you.
Yeah, literally, you get levitate before you get this. And you can levitate yourself at will, I'm pretty sure. Let me see this. Oh, okay. All right, Ascendant Step
I'm going back as well.
It's 9th level, but still. Like,
Still,
7th
we don't
level,
like
you have access to 3rd level spells. You can get fly, aside from just being able to jump really high. Not worth, in my opinion.
No. After that, we get to Relentless Hex. This requires a spell, hex, or a warlock feature that curses. You curse a creature and form a temporary bond between you and the target. As a bonus action, you can magically teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see within 5 feet of the target cursed by your hex, or by warlock curse. You must be able to see the target is the only real thing. It's okay. It's okay. At least it doesn't have a certain amount of times you can do it. So if they're running from you, I guess.
Yeah, it's like it's just like
someone.
It's a misty step to get closer to your target, but keep in mind this is something that you can't like use right away. Like you would have to curse the target, and then that which uses your bonus action, and then the next turn you'd be able to teleport a little bit closer to them. So I mean, it's cool. Once again, it's mostly for Hexblade type melee characters that you're playing as a warlock. I wouldn't take it really for any other reason than that, but it's like a free misty step just to hone in on your target, basically. And then to top off, I think this is the last one that directly impact.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
For Eldritch Blast.
I thought you were saying last one. Yeah, I think this is our last Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast, the specific one, is Repelling Blast. Now, when you hit a creature with Eldritch Blast, you can push them up to 10 feet away from you in a straight line. Notice how this does not say once per turn, because as you progress in levels, you get more Eldritch Blast beams to hit people with. So at like 11th level, you get 3 beams, so you can push someone back 30 feet. Also notice how it does not have any kind of size restrictions on this. So you can push back that gargantuan purple worm 30 feet away from you if you so choose. Knock that thing right off the cliff, if that's what you want to do. So this one, I think I prefer like this one compared to Grasp of Hadar, especially if I'm a blaster, because I want things away from me rather than closer to me. But like I said, both of them can have their uses. Repelling Blast, especially if you're the blaster type, I think is probably the better option. If you're more of like a melee focused Grasp of Hadar to bring them closer to you, is the better option there. But still, you can have plenty of fun with Repelling Blast. Just play Baldur's Gate to find out how.
But you don't lose your loot like that. Next up, we come to Sculptor of Flesh, which requires you to be level 7, and you can cast Polymorph once as a warlock spell with a spell slot. Can't do it again until long rest. Polymorph is great, but again, stop taking my spell slots. Stop it.
I mean, this one though, like Polymorph's a great spell, whether it's for just turning that enemy into a sheep and just letting it roam around for a while, or turning your barbarian who's like low on health into the giant ape and giving them a fresh 160 HP pool. So like this one is one that I would consider taking for sure. It costs a warlock spell slot, but it's also a really good spell to take if this succeeds. That's kind of the downside of it, costing that spell slot. But you'll see, like, it's the more powerful spells that take the spell slot to use.
After that, we come to Shroud of Shadow. I almost did Sculpture of Flesh again. This requires a whopping 15th level, but you can cast invisibility at will without expending spell slots. You can just pop everyone down with invisibility. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. I like this.
Yeah. And once again, though, high level, right? Invocations, there's lots of options out there. So just kind of keep that in mind. The next one, Sign of Ill Omen. So prerequisite, 5th level. So you need to be 5th level for this. You can cast Bestow Curse once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you have a long rest. So Bestow Curse, it's got some interesting things to go with it. It is a rather kind of lengthy spell to read out. So if you're interested in that one, go check that one out.
After that,
It's
we
too
get
much.
Thief of Five Fates. You can cast Bane once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish the long rest. I hate this. I will say this is one of my least favorite invocations because Bane in itself, I feel like I talk about this a lot. Like, if you don't have an honest DM, it doesn't matter, right? But also, once you take that in, it's gone. Yeah, you get 3 of them, but once they're dead, it's over. It's not like Hex where you can kind of move it around as you need. It's there and then it's gone. So I'm not a huge fan of this one.
Yeah,
And it uses a Warlock spell slot. I don't think Bane is good enough of a spell to use a Warlock spell slot.
no, and you have to concentrate on it. Like, there's just many more things you'd probably rather be using your concentration on. The next invocation, Trickster's Escape, prerequisite, level 7. You can cast Freedom of Movement once on yourself without expending a spell slot. You regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Does it have its moments? Sure, I guess. Once again, I think it's probably more of a melee focused one, potentially. I guess if you get stuck in a sticky situation, you can have some benefit from it. But once again, you get a lot of cool stuff with the 7th level invocations that you can choose. Polymorph is right there. So I think there's other options, but it's there if you need it.
Absolutely. After that, we get to Tomb of Levistus. This requires level 5, and as a reaction, when you take damage, you can entomb yourself in ice, which melts away at the end of your next turn. You gain 10 temporary hit points per Warlock level, which takes as much of the triggering damage as possible immediately after you take after you are given the damage. You gain vulnerability to fire damage, and your speed is reduced to 0, and you are incapacitated. These effects including any remaining temporary hit points, all end when the ice melts. Once you use this invocation, you cannot use it again until the end of a short or long rest. I think this is just fine. I think early, it's probably better because I feel like the scaling of damage really picks up around like level 9 or so, where 10 damage per level isn't going to be keeping up. I think early, like level 5 through 8, this is fine. I don't think it's super great because it keeps you frozen into the end of your next turn. So you are literally frozen there for your whole turn.
Yeah. And that's just on a reaction when you take damage. So if you're a little scaredy cat, you can just cocoon yourself immediately once you get any kind of damage against you. And since it's level 5, or you need to be 5th level for it, you get 50 temporary hit points, which takes as much of the damage as possible. So, if someone's hitting you for like 25 damage, you react, it covers you in ice. That ice takes 25 of that 50 damage. And then, so once it, I guess, ends or takes all the damage, then it's just done, right? But you're basically just kind of locked in place for an entire turn. It's just for like the one turn, right? Until the end of your next turn.
Yeah, until the end of your upcoming turn. But you are incapacitated, which means if you were concentrating on a spell, it is gone.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the emergency button, but you're just kind of locked in place, and hopefully the rest of your party can do whatever needs to be done. But keep in mind, you are vulnerable to fire. So if there's a fireball that just gets tossed, you don't get if you're incapacitated, you can't even do any saving throws. You automatically fail. So correct. Like one fireball will very much likely melt that ice real quick because you're vulnerable. So all the fire damage gets doubled, and
Hmm.
fireballs notoriously hurt a lot. So make yourself
You
vulnerable
would
to it.
know.
Yeah, exactly. And if I was vulnerable to it, my God, I would be dead even faster. And I'm a
Hmm.
paladin, for God's sake.
Absolutely. Uh, as we reach towards the end, we get to Undying Servitude. At level, this is a 5th level Warlock Invocation. You can cast Animate Dead without using a spell slot. Once you do so, you can't cast it in this way again until you finish a long rest. I love this one. I love meat shields. I think you can tell from my playstyle that I cannot handle being the only mini that my hand is touching. I have to have lots of things going on.
Yep.
And I love this. I love meat shields. I am a firm as a healer support, right? I'm a firm believer that healing is not the best thing you can do for your party. Keeping them from taking damage is. And these animated dead are there to take the damage that your party doesn't have to.
Yep. And it's no spell slot used. Beautiful. Just you get your undead army
Yes,
coming around with you.
finally.
But you can only use it once, though. Do you only get one animated body with animate undead? Or animate dead? I'm assuming it's probably just one body. Yeah, I think it's just one. But hey.
Yes, you choose a corpse, small or medium.
Oh, okay.
Becomes a skeleton if you choose bones, or a zombie if you choose a corpse.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But I mean, neither of those stat blocks are like something to really shake your head at. Because, or maybe they are. Just kidding. I lied. The skeleton's only 13 hit points, and the zombie's 22. By level 5, they're going to be a little bit behind, but that is still damage that you are not taking.
Yeah, if they take an attack for you, hey, that's
Mm-hmm.
better than healing. We'll take it.
Yeah, people who use familiars, if your pack of the chain and your familiar gets taken down by like a 12 damage hit, just be glad it's not your tank taking 12 damage, because you can get the familiar back. You can't always get your tanks back.
Yeah. Our next invocation, and we're almost done, is Visions of Distant Realms. You can cast Arcane Eye at will without expending a spell slot. So a great ability, very high up, 15th level. Probably one of the higher tier invocations out there. I don't think we've seen too many 15th level ones, but Arcane Eye is that good for it to be that.
So good. I love Arcane Eye.
Yeah.
I love it. As a utility support, this is my shit. I eat it up. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. After that, we have Whispers of the Grave, which requires level 9, and you can cast Speak with Dead at will without expending spell slots. I think this is pretty good.
Yeah. Like, I feel like you can get, like, magic items and stuff like that will let you speak to the dead or something like that. So, I mean, to take a whole invocation for it may or may not be beneficial, I feel. Like, once again, one of those, that's kind of a niche situation sometimes, unless you're just spamming it on everybody that you kill. But our
Well,
final...
they won't, if you kill them, they won't talk to you.
There you go, exactly. So you have your buddy, and you got to be out of the room. So the final invocation of 2014 is Witch Sight. This is a prerequisite of 15th level, and you can see the true form of any shape changer or creature concealed by illusion or transmutation magic while this creature is within 30 feet of you and within line of sight.
Love it.
Love it. Once again, I feel like it's kind of a little bit of a niche. If I had to pick between this or Arcane Eye, I would probably take Arcane Eye.
I would pick this.
Oh, really?
I would. I would love to have this on Morrowind. I would absolutely love to have this. I would give it for this.
Well,
I love Witch Sight. I think it's so good.
Concealed by illusion, so that's like you'd have to kind of know the categories of spells, right? Like kind of the class. So like invisibility, I think it's like illusion, so you can see invisible creatures within 30 feet of you, right? So keep that in mind.
And you can tell if someone's a werewolf. You can tell if someone is a druid. You can tell. You could see doppelgangers and changelings as their true selves. So I, as a highly suspicious person, especially since we currently in our campaign as of recording have a doppelganger out there somewhere Um, I would I would sacrifice so much to be able to see if someone was a doppelganger.
Yeah, definitely. But that is all of the 2014 invocations. As we said, there are a lot of them, and we kind of gave you
Mhm.
our 2 cents about them along the way. And I think that's where we're going to end this video. In the next video, we're going to pick up with the 2024 updated invocations. And there's probably a little bit less than in this
Mhm.
one, but definitely some new and improved invocations. Some of these got a facelift to them. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, we'll show you why Marway went with the Warlock by choosing some of these invocations here. So Bobby, let's have you sign us out here.
Yeah, well, as always, if you would like to see us play Warlocks, I play a cross-class one, and Melanie does in fact play a full Warlock. Head on over Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central to our Twitch. It should be in the description down below, and you can see our ongoing stream, Dion Rising. Or check us out on YouTube right here on Wednesdays. I don't know an exact time because I'm not the tech guy, but they should be there. Um, but until next time, may all of your intelligence checks be successful. Bye.